Imagine waking up and 20% of your bros are just wiped out. That's Rome crushed by Hannibal and panicking so hard they're literally burying people alive. But instead of typing GG, Rome pulls the most unhinged move in history. They draft literal kids. Amidst this hopeless mud pit, an arrogant 26-year-old named Scipio steps up. He's not even legally allowed to command, but volunteers to hard carry the empire. So how does a rookie plan to flip the script on the final boss, Hannibal? By shredding the boomer playbook with dirty backdoor ops. He forces a sudden death 1v1 showdown, where his 200 IQ tactics collide head-on with a stampede of 80 massive war elephants. Imagine waking up on a beautiful day, and boom, 20% of the bros in your contacts just get wiped off the face of the earth. Welcome to Rome in 216 BC, after the Cannae disaster. If it were you, wouldn't you panic? The Roman Senate panicked so hard, they practically started hallucinating. They screamed, "Oh my God, the gods are mad!" and dragged out two Vestal virgins who had supposedly lost their virginity to be buried alive just to appease the gods. With the spiritual stuff sorted, they turned to their troop shortage. The solution? Drag out kids playing Digimons and force them to hold shields, hand out religious weapons from the temples to the slaves, and tell them, "Fight, and I'll give you freedom." Sounds desperate, yeah. Meanwhile, on the other side, Big Boss Hannibal is chilling and throwing a party. If I were Hannibal right then, I'd also be tilting my chin up thinking, Rome is definitely going to send someone to shine my shoes and surrender now. Putting thought into Annie. Hannibal sends his envoy Jim Bob over to Rome with peace terms. He even generously offers to let Rome ransom back thousands of prisoners, a perfectly common practice back in ancient warfare. But nope, the Romans look Jim Bob dead in the eye and say, piss off. They'd rather watch their own people be sold into slavery than cough up a single penny to the enemy. This psychological slap leaves Hannibal stunned. He realizes, good lord, to beat these absolute madmen, I have to annihilate every last soldier. But since he's not well equipped to undertake a risky siege, he decides to just stay the course in Italy. And so Rome's Uncle Fabius Maximus unleashes a cowardly but effective strat camping. Avoid direct combat. Rome switches to playing whack-a-mole. Wait for Hannibal to leave, then run out and gank the southern cities that just switch sides. Whenever Hannibal rushes over to save them, the Romans scatter. As soon as he turns his back after a rescue, they get backstabbed again. If you were Hannibal, wouldn't you be depressed? Just like that southern Italy went from being a grand prize to a soft prison trapping him inside. You guys think Italy is the unluckiest place? Dead wrong. The entire world map is currently on fire. Rome sends troops north to punish the Celts, but they get ambushed and crushed by falling trees. The peak disrespect is that the Roman commander's skull is even used as a religious sippy cup salty munch. Over in Sicily, the city of Syracuse flips sides, and when a Roman general brings an army to besiege it, he gets immediately smacked by the nerd Uncle Archimedes. That guy invents a giant claw to grab ships and a magic mirror to ignite their warships. But luckily for Rome, the defenders throw the game themselves. While under a life or death siege, they drag each other out to get wasted for a religious festival. Roman soldiers take the chance to sneak in and raid the place, storming straight into Archimedes' room. If it were you, you'd throw your hands up and surrender, right? But Uncle Archimedes just mutters, "Get out of here, you're messing up my circles." Loving math more than his own life, and / the old scholar logs out. Rome secures Sicily. But the real epicenter is in Spain. Rome's two top-tier commanders just died in battle there. The Senate is crying in panic, and nobody dares to take this cursed gig. Suddenly, a 26-year-old guy named Scipio the Younger steps up. This kid has spunk, hitting the ceiling, confidently raising his hand to go carry the team, even though he doesn't meet the minimum age requirement. How does a young commander fight? He doesn't bother fighting troops. He pulls a backdoor play, straight on their main base, New Carthage. Scipio checked his map thoroughly. He knows the afternoon tide will make the lagoon shallow enough to cross, so he has his main force attack the front gates as bait, while a special ops team wades through the mud and scales the unguarded northern walls. The impregnable fortress is wiped out in exactly 1 day. Wide-eyed grunts ask how he knew the water would get shallow, and the guy winks. The gods told me. Doesn't get more slick than that. That's not all. Check out the sheer deception of this guy at the Battle of Ilipa. For several days, Scipio places his elite troops in the center and weaker troops on the sides to let the enemy get used to it. The enemy falls for it and mirrors the exact formation. Come Judgment Day, Scipio wakes the enemy up at dawn before they even have time to stuff breakfast in their bellies, and boom, reverses the formation. Rome's elite troops are now on the wings, bearing down to crush the enemy's weak sides. Meanwhile, Carthage's elite troops stuck in the middle are completely muzzled because the Roman center advances too slowly. Bitterly removed from the equation, Spain officially changes hands. You guys think Scipio is gonna just sit still? Nope. He sets sail and lands straight in Africa. The enemy team brings an army out to block him. What does Scipio do? Sends envoys to discuss peace terms, but they're actually just sneaking a peek to scout the enemy camp. Aha! Turns out the Numidian camp is made of highly flammable grass and reeds. In the dead of night, while the enemy forces are snoring away, Scipio tosses a torch and ignites it. The flames spread terrifyingly fast, and the panicked men running out for their lives without weapons or armor get skewered by waiting Roman troops until not a single one is left. Who can counter a play that dirty? Carthage freaks the hell out and has to tearfully call Hannibal, "Bro, come home and save the base." Just think about it, camping in Italy for 16 years, grinding right up to the final boss, only to be dragged back to take out the trash. How salty do you think Hannibal is? Judgment Day at Zama arrives. Hannibal unleashes his ultimate, 80 war elephants charging furiously into the Roman formation. How do you block a charging elephant? Scipio smirks. Easy. Just step out of its way. Roman troops alter their formation to create massive gaps. The charging elephant, seeing a clear path, just slides straight through to the back to escape. The noise panics them, causing them to U-turn and completely trample Carthage's own cavalry. Out of cards, Hannibal has to rely on his infantry to brute force it. While the two sides are in a breathless slugfest, the Roman cavalry returns like a hurricane. They charge straight into the rear of Hannibal's lines. Pincer move. The Carthaginian formation is hacked to pieces, and Hannibal escapes. 17 years of bloody war ends, and Rome takes the championship trophy. Carthage loses all its territory and becomes a Roman client state. And Hannibal, after years of being shunned by his own people and relentlessly hunted by Rome, the 60-something-year-old man is cornered with no way out. But a legend doesn't allow himself to suffer humiliation. Hannibal raises the cup of poison himself, leaving behind one last savage parting shot. Let us now relieve the Romans of the anxiety they have so long experienced, since they think it tries their patience too much to wait for an old man's death. A proud and bitter end. History has closed its curtains, and we've just witnessed the most deceitful yet greatest comeback of the ancient world. What do you guys think of this team-carrying youth Scipio? Drop a comment below. Wow, Hannibal, what a dignified end. Gross. And there you have it, guys. The Second Punic War is finally done. It took 17 years to end the war. And on a personal note, making these videos has also taken 17 years off my life. But wait, the drama isn't over. You'd think they were done for, but Carthage began to recover from the war shockingly fast. Seeing them bounce back, the anxieties and paranoia over Carthage would remain completely alive in Rome. In particular, one Roman senator would begin calling for one last crusade against Carthage to end the threat once and for all. This guy was so salty and obsessed that he famously began to end all of his speeches with one singular phrase, which became one of the most famous phrases in Roman history. What is it? I'll leave you on that cliffhanger. What exactly was that outro phrase that made the entire Roman Empire boil over with rage? Here's a little hint for you guys. It was the exact bloody spark that ignited the Third Punic War. If you know this viral quote, drop a comment down below right now to prove you're a true history buff. And that wraps up the ultimate comeback masterpiece known as the Second Punic War. We just watched Rome go from the brink of logging out forever all the way to taking the championship trophy thanks to Scipio's absolute hard carry. If you guys found this video completely fire and don't want to miss out on the next explosive combats of the ancient world, make sure to smash that like button. Hit subscribe and turn on the notification bell so the YouTube algorithm blesses us. Peace out and see you in the next campaign. GGWP.